What's up guys, in this video I wanted to talk about whether or not Tyson Fury is going to come back to the sport and if his silence means anything, because we haven't heard anything from him since losing to Alexander Usyk in the rematch. He just had that little performance at the press conference where he said, "Oh, I won the fight and the judges were giving Usyk an early Christmas gift and blah 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 blah." As far as I know, Frank Warren hasn't said anything about whether or not he's going to come back. He hasn't hinted one way or the other. And I know Joseph Parker and his trainer Andy Lee are going to be doing a lot of interviews for the Daniel Dubois fight, but they are not going to speak for Tyson Fury and talk about what he is planning to do. And Fury himself has always been a very, very unpredictable guy. You don't know what way he's going to go. You don't know what he's going to do, because he may say one thing and then go in the opposite direction. But this whole Alexander Usyk fight was really his career on the line, and he acted that way since the fight was announced. And at the press conference he was going in on Alexander Usyk so aggressively, calling him an ugly man, a rabbit, a gat-tooth, muppet, whatever. He was acting like he was taking this fight extremely seriously, and it is the first fight in his entire career, at least in my opinion, where he legitimately looked scared. At the pre-fight face-off on TNT with Steve Bunce, and at the press conference before the first fight during fight week, he looked the most nervous I've ever seen. He ended up performing about as well as he could have. He was of course very aggressive at the weigh-in, and then he lost the fight. He made that comment, then the rematch comes and he's acting like a nervous child at the press conference. He looks, as I've shown on screen multiple times by now, like a man who was very, very uncertain, and again, he looked scared. But he showed how much of a true fighter he is by rising to the occasion and trying to give his absolute best in a situation where, like I said, he was scared before the fight, but it wasn't enough. And now that he's lost, the entire image that Tyson Fury has built up his entire career has come crashing down, in the sense that he is no longer undefeated, so he can never hold up this image of him being the best fighter of this generation when he hadn't proven it, or possibly the best heavyweight of all time, which is something Tyson Fury has always wanted to push. And because he ended up becoming the establishment champion after defeating Deontay Wilder, many people in the media were pushing this idea, and he's loved it. He's loved every single bit of it, that he can con the fans the way he has for so many years. Now that he's actually lost, he's no longer unbeaten. One of the fights that he lost, the first fight with Usyk, he got hammered and he got beaten up so badly that I've broken down many videos that he should have been stopped. He had his opportunity for revenge and he gave it his all, as I said earlier in this video, and it wasn't enough. He has now again lost all the ability to hold up this fake image that he is the greatest heavyweight of all time, the best heavyweight of this generation, and therefore can do whatever he wants because it's his business, and again, he's the king of the kings. That has all come crashing down. Now, Tyson Fury has always said that he doesn't care about money, when every single action he has taken tells you otherwise. This guy is all about the money. He can't get enough money. This is not a guy who puts legacy and integrity before the dollar bill. It's the exact opposite. He will sell out for whatever he can in an instant. That's the type of guy he is. Because he can still demand a lot of money in boxing, you would think he would go straight for the Anthony Joshua fight because that's going to pay him the most amount of money. But is Tyson Fury going to be hungry to go out and earn a paycheck in boxing when he's no longer the number one cash cow? Because before losing to Usyk, he could say without a shadow of a doubt, I am the biggest cash cow, so if you're going to host any big event with my name on it, you better be paying me more than you pay anybody else by far, because I'm the man. He could push that and negotiate that with anybody, but now he can't do that because again, he is no longer the man. So even though he can earn a lot of money in boxing per fight, and like I said, the next fight for him that makes a lot of sense is the Anthony Joshua fight, where he can make a lot of money. Is he going to want to go into those negotiations with any fighter, not just Joshua, but any fighter, when now he is no longer the clear A side and he can't push that in negotiations? The second thing that makes me wonder whether or not he's going to return is that Fury has continually stayed in boxing because he does love it. Aside from the money that he makes and the fact that he's very good at it, he can make a lot of money, he does enjoy boxing. You can just tell. I mean, I know Tyson Fury talks absolute nonsense, and believe me, I have been his biggest critic for over 10 years. The guy who was able to go into Germany and outbox Vladimir Klitschko when he wasn't even 30, he was able to do that because he had studied boxing for years, he had the ability, and he had the knowledge of what he would be able to do. So Tyson Fury is a boxing man. He's a very dishonest man as well, but again, he knows the sport and he loves it. But is he going to love it as much now that, again, he is no longer the clear-cut number one? Is he going to be hungry to come back to the sport? Because he was definitely hungry for the Alexander Usyk fight, because he trained like an absolute demon. I know he got thrown out of a club before the rematch, but, well, actually before the rematch was even announced. That was terrible. But as far as training, he was in the best possible condition he could have been in given the circumstances. And that's because even though he loves his food, he loves drinking, he loves partying, he loves the attention and the money, he does enjoy the sport and he loves it. But is that going to change now that he has lost and he's had his opportunity for revenge? He wanted the rematch so badly. He wanted the revenge in blood. He wanted to pay Alexander Usyk back for the beating he gave him in the first fight, and it wasn't enough. He just lost again. Is this going to take the hunger away from him where he'll say, okay, screw this, I'm not going to give my body or my mind or my energy to this game anymore, I'm just going to do something else? Is he going to do that? Or is he going to go the Deontay Wilder route, where his delusions of him believing that he won both fights clearly and was robbed both times and hard done by the industry who were pulling for him, is that delusion going to just keep him afloat to where he's going to stay in the sport, but he's never going to face reality? And will he face a similar fate to Deontay Wilder? I don't know the answer, because even though I've had a pretty good gauge on Tyson Fury because I know his career very, very well over the years, I have no idea what to make of the guy because he's so unpredictable. When someone loses for the first time and they built up such an image like Tyson Fury has over the years, you always can expect the unexpected because they've never been in this position before, so it's new for them. What are they going to do now that they don't have what they've built their entire life and careers up to? And Fury, he, again, wanted to come back, he wanted the revenge, he didn't get it, and he didn't talk about anything in the post-fight press conference. He didn't talk about wanting to fight Joshua, he didn't talk about wanting to fight anybody, but he also didn't flat out say, I'm retired. So it's all up in the air. I don't know what to expect, and if Fury does choose to fight on, I'm going to do a separate video on that, because I definitely don't expect him to face Daniel Dubois or Filip Hrgovic or any of these top heavyweights. In fact, it will be a bit of a shock to me if he does choose to fight again and fight top contenders at that. If he does choose to fight again, I think it will be against some very selected, overmatched opponents or other old men, but that's for another day. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think is going to happen, and what do you expect Tyson Fury to do? Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more, guys. Drop your thoughts down below. Catch you next time.